Breaking news: the markets are experiencing unprecedented volatility. A massive sell-off in early trading has triggered circuit breakers across the board. The markets are experiencing unprecedented volatility. A massive sell-off in early trading has Breaking news: the markets are experiencing unprecedented volatility. A massive sell-off in early trading has triggered circuit breakers across the board. Breaking news: the markets are experiencing unprecedented volatility. A massive sell-off in early trading has triggered circuit breakers across the board. Breaking news: the markets are experiencing unprecedented volatility. A massive sell-off in early trading has triggered circuit breakers across the board. Breaking news: the markets are experiencing unprecedented volatility. A massive sell-off in early trading has triggered circuit breakers.
It's good. Welcome everyone. Welcome back to another stream. Apologies for the little delay to share the screen. As you can see, we've had a little resistance at the all-time high that seems to be respected on the 30-minute time frame, which was mentioned to members in the mentorship group. Mentees were notified. We did come back, I see now, and have retested off of the EMA, 50-day EMA on exponential moving average, as well as our trend line. However, I do see some 1-hour support as well as 4-hour support, which is the purple zone. This also pulls back down into our discount area. Of course, the basics of investing and trading is you want to buy low and you want to sell high ideally. So I am wanting a lower price to buy the price or buy the market at, to look to enter for a possible position today. Right, I don't want to be entering unnecessarily. Of course, I'll wait for confluence and confirmations within these two zones, and then if we do respect them and have confirmation, I will then look to enter towards the all-time highs going long, just following the trend as we are still bullish all the way as we are bounced off of this monthly resistance orange zone pretty beautifully. I'm expecting a continuation, especially since we've crossed above and closed above a monthly resistance. So I'm just looking for areas where I can enter the market and, you know, continue catching this uptrend or bullish trend to the upside. So yes, just being patient, waiting for the market to come down towards our support areas. And that's about it from my side. Everyone's had a lovely weekend and a profitable week ahead. Let's just chill and wait for the market to give us some confirmations now. Seeing the market bounce up a little bit from our trend line here. Massive bottom wick being formed. I'm not too alarmed though. I do see, of course, we've respected this resistance on the left, and then we have created a fresh new 4-hour resistance. So this 4-hour closes the whole 3 hours. So miracle that we do get a break above and a retest, I will then look to go long towards 27,000. However, I doubt that happening this session due to our beautiful down to the downside as expected towards our point of interest. Which is our 1 hour support. That 4 hour resistance I've marked out could then be our take profit levels possibly for later on in the session. As I always preach, a minimum of a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. So if I keep my stop loss below our 4 hour support all the way down here, below our 1 hour support, we will be looking to enter and targeting our all-time highs 4 hour resistance. I will then have my setup for the New York session and simply have to wait for it to play out. Of course, we need our confirmations before we enter. We don't just enter blindly off of these zones. We are not robots, we do make mistakes, so it's all about being disciplined and patient and waiting for that confirmation. Quite a strong rejection and push off our trend line up into our 50-day moving average, as well as our highs here on the 5-minute. We'll be quite excited to see how the market reacts off these highs, the 50-day moving average, as well as our 4-hour resistance. I won't be surprised if we get a little tap of our 4-hour resistance, and then depending if sellers can then step into the market and take control, push price down into our support area, which we've been waiting for since yesterday. A little bit more discount, and then we could talk with our 4-hour zone. Let's see if we can have something like that play out. It would be ideal. Again, we don't predict, we simply react. I don't really want to be taking the shorts on Nasdaq due to us being in an uptrend. Hence, I won't be looking to sell even if we do get this move now. I'd rather than be patient, sit out, and come back next session once we have proper or enough confirmations, shall I rather say, or once we're back at the point of interest. See, we've tapped a little bit of that EMA and seems like sellers are stepping into the market at this level, which is great. I I would like to see a possible tap of that purple 4-hour resistance for a stronger pullback down towards our point of interest for an entry. I think more sellers would be keen to step in as we get a little bit higher above our resistance, of course, which in my opinion would be overbought. Or then just wait. Again, guys, this is not financial advice, this is purely my opinion. I'm documenting my journey as a mentor in this space and showing people that you can read the charts live and you can be consistently making money off of the charts. And you don't have to be a fraud or sellout. So I appreciate everyone joining in on the streams. So we have a couple of people joining us live. There we get that pump into our 4-hour zone as expected. Let's see if we can respect it and reverse to the downside now. See on the 1 hour time frame, our previous 1 hour candle, the massive bottleneck of our trend line, massive rejection, and of course we do have a 1 hour resistance here as well, which I'll indicate or draw out and annotate in blue. I doubt we will get a push all the way up above, but if we do, for whatever reason, and buyers are that strong in the session, upon the retest I will then look to execute a long towards 27,000, which is our major key level all the way up here. But my bias is for us to come back down further into our point of interest, which is our 1 hour support. Hopefully we do get that this session. If not, it's not the end of the world. Seems like we are getting a little bit of indecision once we have tapped this 4-hour resistance as expected. Let's see if sellers can step into the market and take control, push that price down now. Did have that red news event or that red folder playing out 3 minutes ago, and of course that did not really do much to the market from what I could see, at least, unless I'm wrong. 4. So 3 minutes ago we had the Fed chairman designated Walsh testifying and the pending home sales as well as the business inventories, and it didn't seem to be doing or did much to the market. However, on the lower time frame, it seems that we are getting a nice little pullback from this area as expected.
South Africa
Hopefully
has
we
some
can
of the
get
most
a
complex
continuation
in the world.
down into our 1 hour support. Apologies for the ads. We do seem to be getting a push back up into our resistance. Quite possibly even tap out either the top of this wick, I would say. Or quite possibly even tap into our 1 hour resistance before we get that pull back down. Let's just be patient and wait for the market to show us its hand before we decide what to do. It would be nice if we could tap the top of this previous candle's wick that I have marked out like we did now and then flip bearish. That would be quite ideal in a perfect world. Unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world, but a man can only dream. Strong push up past the previous 5-minute candle. Still a minute and 54 seconds, so as I mentioned earlier, that push back up into our 1 hour resistance is seeming more and more reasonable now. Whether we do get a closure within or below it is another story though. Let's see how the market reacts once we get to these levels. This is a 1 hour resistance, the blue zone. quite slow price action. Patiently waiting. If we do get that strong break above, like I mentioned earlier, upon the retest I will then look to go long. I don't want to draw that out yet though, as I'm sticking to my bias, as one should. Of course, if I'm wrong, I am wrong. I would have to then adapt and mark out my next position, which would look something like this, just to give those viewers who are watching live an idea. And that's what it would look like. 123.57, targeting around psychological number. Of course, just seeing how price action plays out at these all-time highs, if we were to get there, and managing my position accordingly. My bias stands though that we have to come back down into our area of support. I see on the 15 minute we are seeing to form some sort of top wick, which indicates there are some selling pressure or sellers stepping into the market at this level, which makes sense as we push back up into the highs on the left, right, in the 15 and 5 minutes. I haven't seen us push quite up into the 1 hour resistance as of yet. Let's just be patient. It could happen quite shortly. Here we get the tap of the 1 hour resistance as expected. And let's see how the market reacts now once we are in the zone. If volume is strong enough and buyers are in control, which they do seem to be, since we are in an uptrend of course overall on the higher time frame, you could definitely see a strong pop towards the 27,000 level today, if that does occur. Seeing that continuation on the, that flip on the 5 minute is quite nice with the top wick. What we'd like to see now is that continuation down past our 5 minute support, 50-day moving average, as well as our purple 4 hour resistance. That would then confirm to us that sellers are aggressively stepping into the market, and we can expect that retest back down into our support area as mentioned earlier in the stream. Let's see if we get that continuation now to the downside, or if this is just a pullback on the lower time frame for a continuation to the upside. Welcome to everybody who's watching. Drop a message down in the description or in the chat box below. All you need to do is drop a like on the stream and be subscribed for as little as 60 seconds or a minute, and you will be welcomed in the chat and be able to type to me live. Let me know what charts you're looking at, what your biases are for the day. It'll be exciting to see what you guys are trading as well on your side. We do seem to still be seeing some bullish market structure, meaning we have not seen a break of the lows yet, so the buyers or bulls are still in control. Excuse me. Do seem to be getting a nice little rejection as expected from our 1 hour resistance. resistance. Nice top wicks on the 5 minute, with the third one now engulfing the previous candle, which is quite nice to see. I would like to see a strong push down now past our 5 minute support, rather should I say, out of our 4-hour resistance, which is indicated or annotated on the chart out in purple. I'm definitely expecting more sellers to aggressively start stepping into the market with those massive top wicks, rejecting off our highs on the left. I'd like to see an aggressive pull down back into our point of interest now, so we can start looking for confirmation to enter our position for the New York session today.
Let your music taste shine with Premium. Host a jam with your friends.
Massive nice top wick on the 30-minute candle, currently moving, still 6 minutes left for it to close. I would like for it to close bearish up into our 30-minute support and hopefully come close to the bottom of this trend line, then with the next one closing below the 30-minute not candle but trend line is what I'd like to see, with a top wick retest just like it's doing now off of the trend line to continue down into our support region, which is annotated as our point of interest. There we go. Bear with me, ladies and gents, I'm still trying to get used to the streaming software, how to move the different screens smoothly, work with the camera when I have issues, how to solve that with the microphone. I'm starting to get the hang of it though, and I have ordered a stream deck just to make the whole process smoother. So now we are officially within the 5-minute support region, and we have closed below that purple zone, which I did mention earlier, which is what I'd like to see. I am expecting this current candle to go tap it just one more time to form a little top wick and then flip bearish towards our support on the left, as well as our point of interest where we'll be looking to take longs off. There, that beautiful top wick tap comes in off of the zone, as well as the 50-day moving average, which acts as a little area of support, I suppose. It's just simply the equilibrium, or the 50% of the average of where price has been at for the last, or over the last 50 days, should I say. So when you're above that, of course, it is bullish. Below that, it would be bearish. Don't take trades purely off of this. It's just another confluence or confirmation to add to your setup or trading plan or rules. Welcome to everyone watching. Please ensure to subscribe so you can be part of the chat, and drop a little chat down below to let us know where you are watching from.
Lean into the sounds you love. Take your playlists anywhere with offline.
Welcome, Trading Fanatic is here in the chat. Welcome. Appreciate you joining in.
Whether you're relaxing at home
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we've had the 15-minute candle close below the trend line. The next one retesting it, so I'm expecting a continuation. We are seeing that strong push down from Nasdaq now. Lovely price action on the Tuesday. Testing, testing. Hopefully everyone can hear me. It does seem like I'm having some technical difficulties here with regards to internet. I'm not sure why. Apologies for that. We do seem to be getting some rejection over here on the lower time frame. So what I'm going to do is I have of course called the direction for this stream correct once again. That's 444 stream. However, the market is retracing or pulling back up now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it a stream. I'm going to end the stream over here. Appreciate everyone who joined in and watched. You know where the points of interest is. Of course, if we do get some consolidation and we do respect the zone on the lower time frames, like anything below a 1 hour, then of course I will look to execute my buy. However, like I mentioned, we are retracing back up, so I don't want to sit here for another 3 hours hoping the market continues down, as we do see a very aggressive bottom wick coming in. So I'm going to call it a stream for now. Appreciate everyone joining in. It's quite cold where I'm at in the world, so I'm going to get some warm clothes on, and I'll see everyone in the next stream. Appreciate everyone for joining in.